my name is Izzy, and I am an average rich housewife. An average rich housewife is a housewife, obviously, but we're average rich. We're not quite as wealthy as J-Lo and Jay-Z, but not quite living in the boroughs. I'm gonna let you into my world. The friends, the chaos.
Can I have a really dirty Grey Goose martini?
The restaurants, the fashion, all of it. You're going to see the inside world of an actual Manhattan housewife. Hey everyone, it's your favorite housewife, Izzy. I am headed to Belize. Now, I know that I started talking about Belize before. I lived there 15 years ago. I lived there for about 2 years. I had a really good friend who bartended with me in Miami in one of the chapters in my life, and he got married and had a baby and started to adult, and they opened a hotel bar in Belize, and I went to work for them because I was in this like quarter life crisis and unsure of what I was gonna do with my life. I went to visit and never left. Fast forward. I stayed there for 2 years and it was quite interesting. I had a really great time, and then I got kicked off of the island. I might have dated someone that might have had a wife, and I might have continued to date him, but I was young and we all make bad decisions when we're young. And in fairness, I didn't know that he had a wife. I thought they were separated, and I only found out he had a wife because like she came coming after me. Turns out that her family owned half the island, so every time I would go into like a market, mind you, this is an island of like 1,000 people. Every time I would go to like the market or something, they wouldn't like sell me groceries. It became really, really weird. So I left Belize. And I have been anxious about returning for 15 years. I was like, I got kicked off the island. I'm never going back. They don't want me there, yada, yada. So in the interim of 15 years, I got married, had some roommates. My mom passed. Now, my friend that owned this hotel bar, his mom and my mom were very good friends, Mama June. And we kind of lost touch, and my mom got sick and my mom passed, and I lost touch with this part of my life because I was afraid that what I did was like so horrible. 15 years later, I have been speaking online to a few of my friends there that I didn't lose touch with, and one of my girlfriends, Mariah, was like, just come back. Like, nobody remembers. It's so long ago. Like, it was a lifetime ago. So I went back, and here is my journey back. So I reconnected with friends that I haven't seen in 15 years. Now I want to preface that by this point in the summer, I have broken up with all of my friends, been told that I need Alcoholics Anonymous, detoxed, retoxed, C-toxed, and I am having a really anxious summer where I have lost all of these new friends, and I'm feeling lonely, and I'm unsure about my living situation when I return back to New York, and I go back to this place where I was kicked off the island 15 years ago. And it was the most amazing experience. I reconnected with people that I thought less of me, and they didn't. These people are like my family. I've known them for half of my adult life. They know me before I was a mom, so they know like fun party me. And when I lived on this island, it was just developing, so it was really small, and there were very few expat locals, and I was a part of that. So I didn't realize how many people I knew and how these people are still my family, and how they've been following my toxicity and they think it's great, and it was so nice to reconnect. Also, another thing that was really nice for my roommates was, you know, in all the other places in Mexico, most of our friends and our friends' kids don't speak English, so they do play, but it's hard to communicate. Where here, all of my friends' kids speak English. Belize, I was in Cape Cocker in particular. It is a British colony, or was a British colony. I have a New York City public school education, so please excuse my geography. But it's amazing. My kids made friends with my friends' kids. I mean, they welcomed us with open arms, and I don't want this to be an ad for Cape Cocker, but I want this to be an ad for Cape Cocker, so I feel like a lot of people are not going, and you need to check it out. Like, I remember why I lived there 15 years ago. Mind you, I caused toxicity. My roommate got bit by a shark. It wasn't as toxic this time that I was there, but it was so nice to reconnect. And at this point in my trip, I was falling off. I was falling off of life. I was like, I don't know why the summer was so hard for me. I had just fallen off of everything. And then I went to Belize, and it was like a beautiful moment. Reconnecting with people that knew my mom, which was nice because I haven't really had any contact with people that know my mom because I don't really speak to my family anymore. And it was just really nice. Sometimes when you make mistakes in life, like sleep with somebody else's husband, and enough time passes, your friends are gonna be your friends. And you know, when you're young, you do stupid things, like sleep with someone else's husband. But you're young and it's okay to forgive yourself, and your friends are gonna be your friends, and you can all laugh about it and have lots of cocktails. And Belize was fucking spectacular, and it would kind of like, my summer wasn't over and I still had one more stop, but it was great. So in Holbox, we popped up the tire on our car, and here we popped up the tire on our bike. So we're gonna go get it fixed quickly and get back on the road, right?
Yeah.
Little incident. I think we have a lot of incidents, me and you. We go on our adventures. I thought it was a golf cart pop. All right, let's keep going. A conch.
Yeah, dive down.
Yeah, look, there's a stingray right there. Head down.
You gotta wait till they get, you gotta wait.
Just give me right here, Mama's here.
I'll take it. I'll take it. They're right underneath you.
So even though I was having this like super emotional, super connect with my friends moment, I went to Belize with another friend, and it was kind of like the final straw. I had been with friends all summer, I had all these plans, and the one friend that I was in Belize with is a good friend of mine, but I think that our kids are different ages, and I think that we're kind of in different places in our life, and she taught me a lot. She taught me that it is okay to say no. It is okay to do what is not convenient for your children. It is okay to walk away from situations that don't suit you, and it is okay to change plans. Up until this point in the summer, I had been so rigid about like, I have all these plans, I can't change it, even if it inconveniences my children, even if it makes me anxious, I'm gonna make everybody happy, everybody happy, everybody happy. This one friend that I know for years that I met in Belize, who happens to be the friend that lives in Guatemala, was like, look, you have to do what's best for you and your children. Right now, my son is not doing well here. I need to get him home because he needs to get back on his routine, so I'm gonna leave Belize a little early. I'll see you in Guatemala. And by her doing that, it kind of made me realize, like, I'm not mad at her. We're still friends. She's doing what's best for her and her kid. I can do it too. Like, why have I spent 3 months making everybody happy, accommodating everybody, and not one person has fucking accommodated me? I shifted directions. I changed my trip to Guatemala. I stayed in Belize an extra week with my friends that loved me, that I connected with. And it was actually amazing. So this like toxic situation where I could have been mad at my friend and being like, oh my God, you're leaving me, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't. I was like, okay, I'm a little upset that you're leaving me, but at the same time, I'm glad you did, because you just showed me that like you left, I'm okay, you're okay, everything's okay, and it's just fucking fine. Why am I worrying about what everybody thinks and does all the time and what everybody thinks and does of me? Like, and that was like the moment where I was like, fuck this, I'm cleaning house, I don't want any more friends, and this is how I see it. If I say something and you don't get it, and you're like, oh my God, you hurt my feelings, you did this, you did that, we're not on the same wavelength. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, but you think I did, which means you don't get me, and it's okay, you're not coming to the next chapter with me. And I know that sounds selfish, and I know that you should talk to your friends about things you did and what hurts their feelings, but I'm at this point in my life at 43, not 50 fuckers, 43, where I don't want to talk about, if I said something to hurt you, and you don't think it was meant as a joke, but you take it as I hurt you, you're not my person. You're not my kind of person. You don't get me. You don't get my humor. We're not jiving. Our energies are not driving. And it is okay. That chapter is over for us. And at that moment in Belize, I was like, my chapter with a few people is over. And this is like where my summer actually started in Belize. Like my energy started to get better. And I'm not like an energy person, but like it was just too many energies and too many people wanting to do too many different things. And I was trying to accommodate everybody, but I didn't accommodate myself or my kids. And now I did. All of the other kids are fishing. And Maximilian. At this point, I'm exhausted. I want to go back to New York. I called my sugar daddy and I'm like, did we find a house in New York? I want to go back to New York. He's not finding anything. The places I looked at, I wasn't happy with. The place that I liked, I'm not sure if they're going to take our offer. We are just all over the place on the move home. I have to go on to Guatemala. I really don't want to, but my niece was meeting me and Sean was meeting me and Chef Christian was meeting me. And even though I had just had this whole like epiphany that I wasn't going to accommodate anyone anymore, the boys wanted to see Sean and Phoebe and Chef Christian, and a new family member will be joining us. So I don't know if you guys know this, but we got a new family member, and the new family member was born in Orlando and was delivered 2 weeks earlier than expected. So Chef Christian took the dog in and held onto it because he would be flying to meet us in Guatemala and would bring us our puppy in Guatemala. So I knew I had to go, I had to get the dog, I had to see everybody, and the kids were excited about this part of the trip. Finally, they were excited. So I rallied and we went to Guatemala to meet Phoebe, Chef Christian, Sean, and Chico, our newest family member. Tune in next week. You're going to see how that went. There was some drama. I was not, at this point I had stepped back from all of the drama. I had released myself, my energy. I was not letting drama bother me. There would be toxicity, but I would not be involved for once. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord Jesus. And you're gonna see Jesus in Guatemala. We saw a lot of Jesus in Guatemala. Stay tuned. Subscribe here. Follow me on TikTok, YouTube, not Home, not Pornhub, not OnlyFans. Yet my D-level stardom here is still cringy enough for me not to have to go to OnlyFans. My sugar daddy hasn't left me for a young girl, and I haven't found an Alejandro. So I'll be here on YouTube. Stay toxic, my friends.
Hey everyone, it's your favorite housewife, Izzy. Don't forget to subscribe.